What's up, guys? How's it going? What's going on? It's your friendly neighborhood Muzzafuzza here, bringing you some more Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Got a little uplink gameplay, and I'm using the Peacekeeper. I'm going to be keeping the peace with my dragon camo. I got a crossbow, and once again, I'm not going to talk about the gameplay too much. Who wants to hear me talking about Call of Duty gameplay? I've played this game for way too damn long to sit around and try to give you tips and tricks on how to be better. I'm using a SMG crossed with an assault rifle, so it's pretty much easy mode as long as I'm not running into a bunch of drop-shotting, corner-jumping MSMC tryhards. As long as I find at least a few noobs, I can usually put together a pretty beastie gameplay with the Peacekeeper. But yeah, I'm not going to talk about Call of Duty too much other than as my main game, as my game that I've played more than any other game in the last like 5 years of my life. I've played Call of Duty much more than any other franchise, any other type of game, anything. What I want to talk about with you guys today is something that parents all over the world try to tell their kids, and they try to beat it into your heads when you're young, and they try to let you know that it's not helping you in any way, and you need to focus on the right things in life. You need to focus on your schoolwork, you need to focus on your job, your career path. You got to focus on what you're doing in the future, and you can't be dilly-dallying, you can't be lollygagging, you can't be messing around with video games, because video games serve no real purpose. And that is the idea that video games are a waste of time. So first of all, as a supporter of video games and a player of video games and somebody who, I don't know, video games are a huge part of my life. What do you want me to say? Like, video games are an integral part of my life. My life would not be the same if it weren't for video games. My life would not nearly be as interesting. I wouldn't know as many people as I know. I wouldn't be doing any interesting, awesome things that I do if it weren't for video games. So I owe video games a lot, and I feel like it's a big part of my life. It's a part of my life that I have to defend because it's got its own certain stigma. Like when you talk to like I'm not going to get into like high school cliques too much because I think it's stupid to bring this kind of stuff to begin with. But it serves as a good example to say, like, if you're talking to a preppy person, if you're talking to a jock or somebody that does mostly plays sports, or, you know, somebody that stays away from video games, somebody that video games is not a big part of their life. If you talk to a person like that about video games, they're going to think you're crazy. They're going to think that you're wasting your time sitting in front of your TV, not doing anything, just holding a controller or a mouse and a keyboard, and you're just clicking away mindlessly. You're wasting your time. You're not learning anything valuable. You're not making progress in your life. You're not adding value to what's going on with you. And my immediate argument, my retort to that would be that look at this gameplay. Like, I was enjoying myself on this gameplay. I've got a death machine. I was getting headshots. I was getting lightning strike kills. I'm putting together kill streaks. I'm running all over the map, rushing and drop-shotting people and putting kills together, making it happen. I'm doing all the things in Call of Duty that make you feel good as a Call of Duty player. I'm getting a good gameplay. I'm going positive. I'm making my team happy. I'm helping win the game. Like, regardless of whether or not this game actually means anything in real life, which it doesn't because it exists in a virtual reality. None of these pixels are actually real. It's just colors and lighting and textures and shadows and stuff that's being portrayed on my screen. Video games are just art. It's just art that you can interact with. It's just like a movie or music or any other type of art that you can possibly think of. It's just something that you can take in for what it is. It's got its own novelty. It's got its own even so far as sense of realism. Sometimes you feel like you're actually in the game playing Call of Duty. Sometimes you feel like you're actually shooting people, and, you know, people who are against video games would argue that, well, that's why playing Grand Theft Auto leads to more violence. That's why people who play shooters end up liking guns and becoming gun nuts, and you know, people can say that video games lead to violence, but I would argue the exact opposite, and I think there's evidence already mounting to support this, that video games don't cause violence. In fact, they cause peace. In fact, they promote less violence because you're spending your time doing something that would take the place of destructive things, that would take the place of going out and partying and doing drugs, or, you know, getting into violent situations or fights or whatever. Like, playing a video game is a good use of your time, in my opinion, because it's positive. It makes you feel good if you're doing well. If you have friends, I mean, you're hanging out with your friends. It's a social situation. There's microphones. There's so many reasons that I could explain to you guys why video games aren't a waste of time. And if you have anybody in your life, and I know that people do, I know for a fact that most of you people listening to this commentary have at least one person in your life that probably doesn't give video games the respect that they deserve, and they probably think it's a big waste of your time, and that it's stupid, and that it's petty, and that it's nonsense, and that you're not doing anything when you're playing video games. And I think there's several good arguments on both sides. Like, people could say, yes, video games are wasting your time. You're not doing anything. You're not making any progress on your physical body. You're not working out. Obviously, you're sitting down in front of a chair, in front of a computer. You're probably ruining your posture. You're probably slouching. You're probably eating junk food and snacks and stuff. You're not eating right. There are different negative effects of video games, and I will address those in this commentary because I want to be as objective and as non-biased as possible. But you guys, video games are a good thing. I think video games have done a lot of good for culture, for society, for people in general, to help us. And I thought I would just make this video today because I still meet new people all the time that don't give video games the respect that they deserve right off the bat. Or they meet me and they ask what I do for a living, and I say, well, I get to play video games, I do this YouTube thing, I make videos for people, and I play video games. That's like the main thing that I do. And people immediately will dismiss that as something that's not valuable. They feel like I have no impact, no influence, I'm not changing the world at all. And I would argue that video games do change the world. Video games influence culture on a massive level. Think about Doom, think about Mortal Kombat, think about Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto. Like, all these things are major cultural influencers that have impacted our lives in different ways. Like, I wouldn't know that you could kill hookers in a video game if it wasn't for Grand Theft Auto. I'm not saying killing hookers is a good thing in any situation, but it's better to do it in a fake video game world than to ever do that in real life. I don't know, guys. I don't really want to sound too overly opinionated or entitled or self-righteous or anything like that. I just want to let you guys know what I feel about this, and that I do have opinions on this, and I feel like a lot of people have a skewed perception on video games and people who play video games, and it sucks because that's what creates like the bullying in high school, when people bully nerds or make fun of people that play video games, or just, you know, dismiss it as something stupid. And I just wanted to show my side of the argument. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you like this video, help support it by clicking that like button. Check out all the links down below in the description. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Muzzafuzza, and I will see you guys next time.